Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another weekly forecast. And yes, it was a very interesting week this week. I wanted to quickly recap on the free channel actually for once. Normally I just usually do a recap on the VIP, but this week what I've decided to do is just sort of share some more analysis images on the free channel to give, as we've got like 2,400 members in this channel, and there's no point. Obviously you guys have been following me for quite a while. I know there's been people who have been with me for a few years, and have enjoyed the sort of analysis that I give up. And I just thought, why not give some more sort of in-depth sort of analysis? And you can see from here, we had quite a few reactions on this sort of level of analysis, and that sort of ended up working out. Obviously not to a T. We always have like sort of that leeway when it comes to trading that we can't sort of predict 100%. We just need to sort of get and react of what the market sort of does, and then trade off the back of that. And you can see that sort of I was expecting sort of a move back below these pre-equal lows for then price to sort of start moving up, and then once we ended up getting that move down here below these equal lows, you saw that price ended up rallying up. This was sort of the initial move out of this sort of downtrending consolidation pattern here. We've already touched into the 1 hour fair value gap. There was a 15 and a 5 minute at a lower that I was looking for. However, price did tap into it, and that's all it really needed. And then because it was Thursday, we wanted to see a sort of end of week reversal, and then we had a break, and then a swift retest, and then that would have been the entry, and the price rejected, and then ended up taking out the highs. And from then, if we go quickly back to the chart, you can see what ended up happening. Let me just alter the zoom here. So here was your break, here was your retest, and then that was your target hit. And then throughout the whole night, price climbed. Friday going into London, price climbed until we got to US session on Friday. So that was actually a fantastic trade if you ended up holding that trade. And it's these sort of moves that you want to sort of follow, because they give the sort of biggest sort of return. As you can see on the 4 hour time frame, we actually no, I'll come back to this because this is going to be more of a in-depth sort of discussion on what's going on gold. But as we carry on the free channel, you can see that we ended up sharing this sort of analysis that on Friday I'm expecting prices to sort of turn around here, because we had a very strong climb overnight. Friday I'm expecting price to sort of give us some sort of retracement, with at least a sort of breakdown and a retest, and then continuation down. We ended up getting that, where we had a breakdown, a retest, and we ended up getting in on this sort of entries were shared and VIP. So I am sort of giving something back for the VIP members, as well as the best of both worlds, giving something to the free channel as well here. So you can see you ended up catching 95 pips, sorry. 2360 was taken, and then from here I did see that over the PM session during New York, price did end up retracing back towards the 5 minute fair value gap, and then dropped again. At this point we were happy. I took majority of the trades here. The trades were secure, trade hit break even, but we took majority of the profits already off, so profit was made on there. So again, if you guys want to sort of get this analysis, the link is in the description for the free channel. And if you guys want to get that sort of extra support, guided entries, and want to sort of follow where I sort of and how I enter and where I place my take profits and stuff, again, the EEFX bot is where you want to go. Or if you want to use the broker, minimum deposit of $500, and you get 50% first time deposit bonus by just clicking this link and signing up, and then you'll get free access to VIP. But without further ado, let's get into the weekly forecast, because I know that's why you guys are here. You guys want to hear my sort of thoughts on what happened last week, why I was expecting a move up, and sort of what I'm expecting for next week, really. So you can see that price on the daily time frame, as we should usually start on a higher time frame sort of bias. Let's look at weekly time frame first. You can see that over March, April, and April was a very bullish month, where price kept rallying towards 24.40. That's what this 24.30, yeah, 24.30 here where the highest point is, and then price sort of started to retrace. Where price retraced, as you can see here, if I mark it up with a box, you can see we have a fair value gap on the weekly time frame, where price just tapped into it, and there's a reason for this. And you can see that so we retraced into a little bit higher than 50%, around about 30% of the fair value gap. If we drop into the daily time frame, let me make that visible on the daily time frame as well, so you can see that. and we go down to the daily time frame. Let's just change this to the weekly so you guys can see. You can see that price dropped down into the weekly fair value gap. We also had a daily order block here as well. So I'm going to just make this as an order block. Right, here we go. And I'm going to just drag this across, right? And you can see the middle line is my sort of line in the sand of the order block. If we get price closing below this middle line of an order block, this shows that price wants to sort of push down. It's not rejecting off this order block, and it will likely break through this order block and use it as a retest and continue lower. But you can see, look to a T, price closed above, rejected, did not close anywhere below the middle line here. So this showed that price was still very bullish and it was respecting this order block. So this is where we were getting our analysis that price would likely turn around and push to a bullish sort of move, or at least retrace this sort of down move that we've had here. So let's undo that. And we were just looking for some confirmations and some breakout structures. So again, and the reason why I'm recapping this is because I didn't do a video last week. So I'm just going to quickly recap, and for those who are not in the free channel and just watch these videos, you can sort of get an understanding on how you sort of analyze a market like that. So now we're in this order block. We're now expecting some sort of bullish move, right? So when we had NFP, price took out the lows, liquidity was collected here, and now we would like to see what happens during the next week. And then on Monday, price ended up pushing up, and what did it do? Immediately took out the previous high. So you have a previous high here, previous high here. You can see how they're sort of going lower each time, which shows that it's a downtrend. Price made a lower low here, and then price made a higher high. So that's sort of your breaker structure. Now with that, because we're expecting bullish, we don't want to see price break below this order block here. So we would like to see price retrace back into something significant like an imbalance area, internal liquidity range, and then that is where price sort of tapped into, and then we sort of wait for that breakup structure again, because in this retracement, you can see we have a smaller time frame, a bearish price action, where price is actually moving lower. We have lower lows, lower highs, until we started to get this sort of move here where price made an equal high, again a lower high, so that you can see that price is sort of squeezing together around this price point, until we had London taking out that low right there, and then we had a big break up, which is a break, retest, and your continuation begins. And that's how you sort of get into these trades. Sorry, I got a little itch. I have the mic in my hand. And that's how you usually get into these trades and start seeing these major moves, because again, all of this time is sort of setting up for a reversal. You don't want to be trading in these chops. Obviously, people make money within these sort of little candles, but this sort of move is what you want to sort of see. But quickly summarizing the Friday move, you can see that price had to start retracing. And why did it push up that high? Why did it start rejecting? If you go and have a look at the daily time frame, we have a daily fair value gap right here. So at that point where price retraced, there was still this gap remaining. And if I just sort of drag this across, you can see with Friday's candle, price pushed in, filled the daily fair value gap. Okay, that's fine. How do you get an entry of it? You drop down to the 4-hour time frame. You see, is there any more fair value gaps? We have a 4-hour fair value gap here. So I'm just going to remove this daily one. Yep. And I'm going to draw a 4-hour one right over here. So each time frame is fractal. You can see that each time frame has its own sort of narrative, and that's why once you start plumbing all the narratives together, you can start saying that, oh, you can start building up your bias a lot better. It'll be a lot stronger because you have a lot more confirmations. You have a weekly, daily, 4-hour, 1 hour, everything's lining up. You wait for the breaker structure, and that's how you get your highly probable move, and that's how your trading can get a lot more mechanical in terms of like an algorithm sort of base. And the way you sort of enter. So this week we took a lot less trades, however we had a lot more wins in terms of percentage of return. So that's what we want to sort of keep. We don't want emotions to get in the way, because I know the previous 2 weeks life's got in the way for me and my mindset's been all off, but I like to sort of step out, share this analysis, and that's why even for me, sharing it to the free channels also helping me and the VIPs as well. So that's why I do it. So you had your 4-hour sort of time frame here, price started slowing down, and you want to sort of see a reversal in the US session. So what do you want to see? You want to see a breaker structure. I'm dropping down time frames now just to sort of speed things up as well. But again, in the comments, leave a comment down in the comments if you would like me to do these sort of breakdown videos and a lot longer videos if you don't mind them, as well as a forecast. So I would like to hear your thoughts again, because it makes sense, because obviously you guys are watching it. I don't want to make sort of long videos if you guys are just going to skip all the way to the forecast anyway. So we had a low here, low here, low here, and then we had a big break here. So this was sort of your breaker structure. What time is it? 8:20 a.m. So we have peak US sort of session sort of volume impulse in here, and then we keep pushing down. So a lot of people ended up sort of getting into the buys here while price pushed down. But when I was looking at the chart at that time, we know that around about 9:30 to 10 a.m. is like your main move, usually with gold these days, as I mentioned in the week on the free channel, that you want to sort of look out at 10 a.m. New York time, because this seems to be with going into the next quarter after April, the market has slightly shifted where we tend to get the main move after 9:30 New York Stock Exchange Open, which I've noticed for the past few days. You guys can go back in your charts, mark up 10 a.m. and see that is the main move. If I can quickly give you guys a quick example, it would actually be on Friday as well. Here's a 10 a.m. As you can see from the bottom, right? And this was the main move down that we had. Obviously, we had a retracement and continuation. It didn't break a low, but this was your main move. Why was it at 10? Why not like at 8:30, which when it usually used to be when the news used to come out? We have a sort of shift that I've noticed, and it's also allowed me to adjust my trading pattern, trading style a little, to sort of wait for that sort of time frame. Wait till after 9:30. So then, when I saw this, I'm going to put replay mode on because I have that available. When we saw this happen in the market, I noticed there was a big imbalance, right? So the first thing I did was mark this imbalance. And I said that, okay, if price sort of fills this imbalance, we'd like to see some sort of retracement into there and for price to sort of move down. So if we go and just go to the next bar, I think it's this, I don't use replay too often, price kept pushing down. And at this point, I wasn't getting any FOMO because I know, right, at the moment it's 9 a.m. on this candle. Sort of 8:55, so it's before New York session open anyway. So I'm still going to wait and see what happens. Price still pushes down, and then price sort of pushes back up, and then at just before New York Stock Exchange, price tapped into this 5-minute fair value gap, and this is where our trade was activated. So I'm going to put a short position here, and the stop loss was above your previous high. And then what are we targeting? This low here. Right, this is your initial target because you would like to see price push lower, and then obviously we have other targets like these lows here, but we'll hopefully see that come into fruition next week, and then we can see what if I just place a sell here. No, why not? And then we just enter. You can see straight away price went into profit, push down, and we had an instant sort of 35-40 pips, and then at this point I still have a feeling that price, it's not 10 a.m. yet, so I'm still gonna sort of leave the stop loss where it is and just see what price does. So you can see price sort of pushes down, and then we had another tap in. It's like at this point, a lot of people could get FOMO, start closing the trades that no price is going to go up. But for me, I knew that okay, at 10 a.m. price may want to go back to that same area and just retest it, maybe fill a few more in, and then see what happens after. And you can see that once 10 a.m. hit, price then started pushing down, and then we ended up getting that take profit to hit at 2160, and then price continued falling down. So then price here at this point, we were already taking majority of trades. Our sort of, what is this? Yeah, man, $8 profit. Let's go, big bucks. I'm just going to close that there. We already took majority of the trade, and SL was at entry, and then what ended up happening was price ended up pushing back towards entry. If I do that there, and then we do this, you can see price climbed up, and then that's where we were taken out there with that spike, and then price sort of ended up continuing falling down, and likely looking at this, hey, congratulations, 100% run rate. And then looking at this, price will likely fall down a little lower next week. So that's sort of my breakdown. If you guys enjoyed that breakdown, leave a like. Don't forget to comment if you guys want more of those sort of stuff, a little longer, just explaining our trades, explaining that mindset, explaining what I'm looking for, and explaining how to sort of wait and have patience in the market, because again, the market can be very unforgiving is the word. So you guys have been waiting. It's time to sort of get into the weekly forecast, and let's sort of look at what we're expecting going into next week. So now that price has actually retraced the initial down move, we have price at this order block where we've pushed up. We have this sort of volume void, which I've also marked up as well on the 4-hour time frame, and the 4-hour time frame would be best to show that. You can see that there's no sort of candles that have closed within this gap. It's just wicks at the moment, so this could be a significant area where price would find support. Price sort of fell short of that, and it's now sort of pushing down. So what we would like to see is, I would like to see price push back down towards this little area here where we had our breakout, right? So this could sort of be marked as an order block here. If you go into the daily time frame, you can see that it is a daily order block with some imbalance. So I'm just going to mark that up just for now, just so I can do some sort of drawing on here. So what we would like to see on Monday is if price sort of starts swiftly pushing down. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you'll likely get a bearish move into this area, and then you'll likely see another reversal for price to sort of push up. And if you get this sort of price action, then we're definitely, well, highly likely, I'm not going to say definitely because things can change, where price would likely want to rally again and target these highs again, and then start possibly pushing out. However, on the flip side of things, if price sort of pushes up and then we get like a sort of Monday, Tuesday sort of price consolidation round here, we could see price start pushing back down into this area and potentially lower. So I think the area that I'm going to be looking at is these lows here. I would like them to stay intact, or potentially this order block, right? So you want to sort of refine your order blocks, refine these areas properly, and then sort of monitor these areas going into next week. Because if you see price start pushing down, but you don't see any sort of breaker structure, you would like to stay out of the market until you see that sort of breaker structure. By that I mean, if price is sort of pushing down and pushing down and pushing down, and we're in this area, you don't want to start buying here, because what price could do is it could swiftly flush back down to these lows, right? What you would want to wait for is, and I say this quite often, is if you get these sort of moves down, 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 once you get into a significant area, what you want to see at that point is something where structure changes. You can see that the price is sort of now moving up. With that, will then give you your better entry, and with timing, you'll get a lot quicker move towards take profit. You're not entering in this whole sort of area and then ended up going back to break even if you've entered on this side, because you've waited for the right time. You're not rushing into any trades. So that's my weekly forecast going into this week. I would like to see price retrace before doing any sort of entries. On the 4-hour time frame, let's mark it on the daily because it's a lot clearer. In hindsight, what we're looking, from an outside perspective, from a zoomed out perspective, what we're looking at here is price has now just retraced and moved down, right? What we could get here is, if it succeeds, price would likely go lower, right? Because it's just a breakdown, retracement to continue lower. So at this point, we're not super confirmed what price would do, unless price would like to hold on this daily order block. So I'm going to use the sort of higher time frames going into next week, because if price, and actually I'm going to use the same theory I explained at the start of the video, so if you guys were listening, you guys may understand what I'm going to talk about here, is if price sort of pushes back down into this order block but does not close below midpoint, 50% of this order block, and just holds up above this fair value gap that we have here, daily fair value gap, and I'll drag this across. If price fills this daily fair value gap, then we should see price break structure and continue moving up. And if we see that, I would most likely be looking to start targeting these highs at the moment. So at the moment, it's not as clear, but if you start getting this, then it will be a lot more clear. So again, if you guys want to see this sort of analysis on the free channel, I will be updating going throughout the week, because a lot of things can change from when I do a forecast from now to when the market opens tomorrow. So guys, link is in the description. Be sure to join that free channel. And if you guys want guided entries, the VIP is also there as well. So if you guys enjoyed this, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and comment if you guys want more, or if you need me to sort of update, and just give any feedback. That's all I require from you guys, because it's always lovely to sort of see and hear from you guys as other traders as well, and how I can sort of improve. And if you guys like my analysis, just mention it. I like hearing from you guys, and even some of the positive words that come from you guys. Hopefully the sound quality and everything is all good. But that's pretty much it. We're going to leave it here. My mic is about to die, and yeah, I don't want it to. So it's been a waste FX. Peace out.